All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for taking some time out of your Saturday morning to join us at our May club meeting. We have a great presentation today. Roy Rasband will be presenting to us on Field Day and what the club is going to be doing this year for Field Day. We also want to wish him a happy birthday. Today is his birthday, and he's given up time on his day to help us all out and make sure that we're all in line and ready to go. So first off, are there any new members or anyone that has upgraded since our last meeting that would like to say hi?
Hi,
Hey, Calvin, introduce yourself, give us your call, and let us know what you upgraded to.
I'm Calvin KJ7KAY and I upgraded to General.
Awesome. Calvin is 10 years old. And so we are very happy to have him with us. Anyone else? All right. Well, I do have just a couple of announcements for you so that you can be watching the web, and we'll also get this out in blast email as it gets closer. We are working really, really hard to be able to get together in person for our June meeting. It will probably be outside under a Bowery or something like that, one of the parks. We're working on that. Also, we got approval today to be able to use the Sheriff's Department parking lot, their front parking lot, for Kids Day. Kids Day is an ARRL event. It is scheduled for June 19th. And so the club will be pulling the war wagon out to, a few yards from where it's stored out to the parking lot so we can get it out, play with it, and invite youth of all ages to come out and try to make contact. We'll have the war wagon out there. We'll do some UHF, VHF stuff, some HF stuff, and we will be advertising that and getting the word out. If you have any pictures of youth and radio, I would love to have them for our advertisement. So you can send that over to me. Um, and we'll add that to the poster. But it should be a really fun event. Anytime that we can get out there in the public to let them know what ham radio really does and what kind of fun we can have, the better. And even better when we can get youth involved to key up the mic and to make contacts throughout the country or even throughout the world is a good thing. So we're really excited to be able to do that. That's going to be June 19th. And it's going to be a great event, just if nothing else, so we can shake down the war wagon. It hasn't been out much in the last little while due to world circumstances, but we're excited to get that out. Does anyone have any announcements or anything that is for the membership that you'd like to get out? Go ahead and come now and give us your announcement or your information or questions or whatever you got. Anyone? All right. Well, hearing none, we'll go ahead and turn the time over to Roy. He will talk to us about Field Day and what to expect and what we're going to do. So it's all yours.
All right. Let's see. You can see me okay?
Sure can.
And we'll switch from looking at me, which is not that exciting, to looking at my presentation. So see, how many people do we have on here, Larry? Oh, we have a bunch. That's awesome.
Currently, we have 24, and it keeps going up.
Good, good. So we're really excited for Field Day this year, and we're going to go to Monte Cristo. And for those of you who don't know where it is, it's at the top of, you go past Huntsville, and it's the top of the mountains, like you're heading over towards Randolph. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. We have lots of people that say that they're going to help out, and we're going to talk at the end of the presentation about other things people can do. We've got a list on the website that we've been having people fill out, and we will actually talk about that right at the end of the presentation and try and get you all to sign up and participate. we are respectful of people's concerns about COVID. We're anticipating that most people will be vaccinated, like myself, by that time. And so, we're really comfortable if people want to wear masks when they're up there. It'll be kind of out in the open, except for when you're in a tent or a trailer operating. And so we will be respectful either way. If you feel comfortable about not wearing masks, then good for you, which will be me. I'm not going to wear a mask because I've had COVID, I've been vaccinated, and I feel comfortable. So anyway, but we anticipate having a lot of people come to that. So let's see. Let me pull this presentation up. Let's see. I guess I just say share screen, right? Share screen. Here we go. Share. Okay, and then we'll do presentation slideshow. There. Does that look right, Larry?
It looks great.
Okay, great. Field Day 2021. And so everybody, as you know, last year, because of COVID, we had kind of an unusual field day. So it was interesting because I think it was April, first part of May, I reached out to the AWRL and I said, are you going to have any variations to the contesting for field day, given what we're going through? And they kind of like, we hadn't really thought about doing anything different. And so I sent them a letter, an email, giving them some suggestions after I had talked with our executive board about some ideas on what they might consider. And they actually listened to us. I think it was us, I think it was our club. I don't know if other people said the same thing, but by, what was that, probably the third week or end of May, they sent out some adaptations to field day to where they said, okay, if you're participating and you're not with the club, you're participating at home, but you're part of a club, then they would accumulate those contacts to the club. And so that was kind of the variation that they did. And I think they're going to do something similar this year as well. So anyway, so that was kind of cool that that our executive team, that we gave suggestions to them, and the AWRL actually listened and made some worldwide variations to the rules for field day. And so because we had to be adaptable, we did have the war wagon out a little bit, had some participation with it, but there were a lot of people like myself that that had home ham shacks or wannabe ham shacks that actually got serious about getting some things done. And so I know, like myself, I had lived in my house for 3.5 years, and I'd always wanted to put up my my dipole in the backyard and my vertical and get my ham shack going in my office above my garage. And so I had incentive to do it last year. So before field day, I got that done. And so my son and I, we operated for, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours, Saturday night and Sunday morning on field day, and got some contacts, even though it was really hard to get contacts because there were so many people operating from home bases that, the air was just alive with RF. And so you really had to work hard to penetrate through all that activity that was going on, and only certain bands were active at certain times. So anyway, so I think that was a mixed blessing for all of us, for a lot of people to actually get serious. I know, like Matt Zundell, he got his ham shack going and he operated at home. I asked for some people to send over some photos from their field day from last year. So Paul Barber, he sent me a few photos. And it looked like, I never got to go to where he did this, but it looked like he actually had kind of a public site. Paul Barber, are you on?
I am.
You want to just give us a 1 minute or 2 minute comment about your activity?
Sure. Calvin and I, my grandson, set up in Andy Adams Park here in Layton. And we didn't know how many contacts we'd make, but we found out we got multipliers by having police officers, and the mayor of the city came by, and kids were invited. We had an information table, so a lot of kids came. And I think Calvin made about 10 contacts. We just set up a little pop-up tent and a Honda generator in the park, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks for that snippet there. So there were several in the club that made the best of the situation, and I'm very impressed with your setup there. It's very public facing, and you involved your whole family, it looked like. So that's awesome. And then Ray Allen, he sent me a few photos. Is Ray on? Doesn't sound like it. Okay. Anyway, so he did a field day activity at his home as well, and it looks like he included some of his family as well. There's his antenna set up in his backyard. Looks like a vertical with a comet or something on top of it. And they've got a bunch of gear set up in there. So, all right, let's talk about field day. I think Larry had asked me to kind of share a lot of my older presentation, which I've got kind of a mixture here. But we have I think we have a lot of new club members and in our club, and maybe a lot of people that haven't done field day. So, and let me just tell you a little snippet. I remember when I first moved back to Utah, I would go to the club meetings. My son and I got involved in the club meetings, and and I believe at the time, Bob Craven was the field day chairman. And he said, "Hey, Roy, you really got to come up to field day, up to Monte Cristo." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah. And as all of you know, there are lots of different interests in ham radio. I mean, digital and all kinds of crazy things. And I said, okay, well, maybe I'll come up in the afternoon for a few minutes. So I went up, and I think I had some of my family members with me. Even my wife maybe was with me. And I actually got to sit down and operate at one of the stations. But I hadn't planned on staying very long. I had some other activities planned. And so I only stayed a couple of hours, but I was hooked. From that on, I was hooked to field day. And then the next few years, I started getting more and more involved. So anyway, it's a fun thing. So it's a great way to bring your family, yourselves, bring your gear up. You can have an outing with your family. We do contest, and we do, pretty respectable. We've even last year, we scored fairly well, even given COVID. And so we're not hardcore. There are some clubs in Utah that are super hardcore, serious operators that you wouldn't, if you're just a casual one, you wouldn't feel comfortable going to those clubs and trying to operate because they just have hardcore operators in there. It's all about the contest. Our club is not like that. We want to be very inclusive. We do have some very great operators that help us get a lot of points, but we always make sure that we have plenty of opportunity for people that have never made HF, which would be high frequency communications, who've never done it or have just done a little bit of it. We want you to come and participate and get that experience. It's also important, this is an emergency exercise, and so it does have to do with ARES and doing an emergency exercise, because we do go out, we go up to, most of the time we go up to Monte Cristo, and we set up, we have our own power, we set up antennas from scratch, beams, dipoles, string them from trees, and set up tents with tables, and so it's all from scratch, and I'll get in more into that later, but it is like an emergency exercise kind of thing. And so we do it, even though we know what we're doing, we make the best of it. And then historically, the first field day was in June of 1933, and it was at a country club in Kansas City. 4 high school students manned the station. They used a 1-tube transmitter with probably 25 watts output. So if you talk to like a Hall or a Gary Johnson or somebody like that, they know what tube transmitters are. But it's mostly the old guys that know what these tube transmitters are. They had one 80-meter crystal. The antenna was off center fed hertz, and their score was 5th overall. Back then, 25 cents bought 6 hamburgers, and gas was 12 cents per gallon. I'm 63 today, and I remember when you could buy a gallon of gas for 25 cents. So, all right, so what might you learn? Well, you will definitely learn logistics, a lot of logistics, how to set up an antenna, how to set up different types of antennas. And most of it, you don't need to have lots of experience. We just need a lot of grunt work. And so, we really like to have people come that can just help us pull cables and do all kinds of things like that. You see Matt Zendel and some other people that are setting up. And what do you need to bring? Just bring whatever you want. I've seen people like, I remember John Mabey, he had a really fancy motorhome, and so he would bring that up in his later years, and you've got people with trailers, people with tents, whatever you want to bring. It's a big flat open area, so just bring whatever you're comfortable doing. I've seen some people sleep in the back of their truck as well. Here's an example of our antenna trailer, getting that going. And Monte Cristo, the reason we choose Monte Cristo is it's an awesome place because it's right up on top of the mountains up there. So you can literally look east, west, north, south, and there's nothing obstructing our RF, right? Our radio frequency stuff. And so we get a really good shot of going all over the place and getting really good contacts. So that's why one of the reasons we like to go out there. Plus, as you can see, it's a very beautiful place. Pine trees and it's just beautiful. Most of the time we have a lot of sunshine. So there's Hall and some others that are helping out. And of course, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of us hams, we really like to eat. And so I'm going to tell you about our schedule, but we do a breakfast that the club provides Sunday morning. And we also do a big barbecue, Dutch oven barbecue, this Saturday night. Of course, we provide important facilities. and we'll have power up there for field day. 2 years ago, Paul, you can correct me, but I think maybe even for more than just 2 years ago, we have been in the War Wagon has completely run off of solar and battery power for all of field day. Is that right, Hall?
That's correct. Yeah, it will. We run for a full 24 hours without external power, just the solar on the roof keeping the batteries charged. The batteries have been tested recently. Joe came over and we went through the batteries and they're in good shape. So we're ready to go. And that's the answer.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I'll have my Honda generators up there for some of the other stations, but it's pretty cool. So where is field day? You can go on the website and it gives you these directions on how to get there. It's pretty easy. We'll try and have a banner or something out by the side of the road. So if you get up to the top of Monte Cristo and then you start going down the other side, that means you've gone too far. But it's pretty easy to find. It's a big open flat area with lots of pot gut holes in it. So you have to kind of be careful walking around. That's what it looks like from the air. So again, it's a beautiful place. We've had some years where it's been questionable if we could get in there because of too much snow. But since we've had so much drought stuff, you know, we haven't had that issue for a while. It is just BLM or Forest Service space, so we don't have to buy permits. We can just go up there and enjoy the space. So we run as 3 alpha, which means we have a digital station, we have a CW station, which runs out of the War Wagon. The digital station, Chuck and his team, they've committed to bring their equipment up and run the digital. We'll probably use, unless somebody else comes up with a trailer or something, we'll use a tent for voice. And then we have the 4th one, which it says 3 alpha. We get a free station that's called GOTA. GOTA means get on the air. And so that's just for non-hams, non-licensed hams, new hams, whoever wants to go can operate, and we can have an operator there that can train them. This is the War Wagon, what we call, very well equipped for emergency services. This is the bot, so one of our other club members. I probably should talk to him, see what he's doing this year. Is he on the call, on the thing? Okay, I'll have to give him a call. Anyway, this is a beam antenna. You can directionalize it. Again, we have lots of families. There's the GOTA tent. There's Chuck and his rover for the digital stuff. And Friday and Saturday nights, we will have world famous popcorn that I make. And we will also have outdoor movies. So Alan Breiner, he brings a big whole setup and we will have outdoor movies in the evening. Okay, so we have our hardcore operators. Here are the CW guys working at it. There's Bill and Brent. And then on the voice side, we have our hardcore operators there. And this is GOTA stuff. We also have some specialized modes. Is Brandon Rasmussen on here? You see him anywhere? Anyway, he's an airline pilot. So 2 or 3 years ago, and he's done this a couple times, there's a mode where if you can get a satellite contact, you get 100 points. That's the same as 100 contacts. And so he was able to do that. He picked up a satellite, I think it was coming in the horizons from Alaska, and he managed to get a contact from that. So I'm just going to stream through some of these. Again, great place for families, kids to come. We will have some educational things. Hall, you're on the spot, hopefully, to do, think of a training session for us, okay?
Okay, I was thinking about maybe how to build a roll-up J-pole, something like that.
Oh, that'd be cool. Okay,
Oh.
and we get points for that in the competition. So Hall has done that almost every year where he has trained us on something. And Brent's coming. I think Lou's coming this year. This is a generator set. It's a military gen set that the club owns, but it uses quite a bit of fuel, and it's kind of overkill for what we do, but we do have it available. We'll probably just use some Honda generators. So as you can see, we have a great time, and it's beautiful. The sunsets are gorgeous up there. Johnny Biggs is committed to come. He's a really great operator and a lot of help. There's Brandon Rasmussen on the right. He's our satellite guy. Okay, so let me just go through the agenda here. So Friday, June 25th, and you can get up there Thursday if you want to and just camp. I think Johnny Biggs might do that, or some others. But basically the events start at 12 o'clock on Friday. So we have from 12 noon on Friday to 12 noon on Saturday to get everything set up. So we'll get our tents and our antennas, generators, everything, all the radios, test antennas, tune them, get everything ready to go. So usually by evening, most of that is done on Friday. Bring your own meal. And again, we encourage you to stay overnight, the 2 nights, Friday and Saturday night. We will provide some popcorn and a movie Friday night. Saturday, you're on your own for breakfast. Again, between, when we get up and noon, we'll do final preparations, make sure the logging network's ready to go, everything. Final calibrations. Then at noon, from noon on Saturday until noon on Sunday, we will start contesting. And again, we'll have some hardcore contesters, and we'll have newbies. We'll give everybody an opportunity to come and operate. The more the merrier. We never have too many operators. Saturday night, the club will provide Dutch oven barbecue ribs, and then we encourage each family or individual to bring a side. So some baked beans, potato chips, watermelon, drinks, salads, whatever you want. And we just throw it all on the table and all just share potluck. Then, and again, during the afternoon on Saturday, I'll do his training. We'll do lots of different things. And then we'll do the outdoor movie and popcorn again Saturday night. And then the club will provide pancakes and eggs and all those kind of things Sunday morning for those that have stuck around. So it's a good deal. Then we contest until noon on Sunday. And then once we're done, everybody chips in. We tear everything down, stow it away. And we're usually, Hall, like within an hour, we're done. I mean, we're ready to hit the road.
Yeah, usually by no later than 2 o'clock, the field is empty unless there are folks that are going to camp over. But everything's done and headed down the hill by 2 o'clock or so at the latest.
And the more people we have that stick around, the quicker that goes, the more help we have. So does anybody have any questions about the agenda? About what Field Day is about? Okay, and so take up this information here. Here's my phone number. My co-chair, I have a co-chair this year, Lisa Cook, and I think she's on as well. And so I'm excited to have her help because she's going to be awesome. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Lisa, did you have any comments?
I do not. I'm just super excited to go this year.
Okay. All right. Now we need to do a little business. Can you still see my screen? Okay. See a spreadsheet, Larry?
We're seeing your PowerPoint slide.
Oh, okay. So I need to change that somehow, I guess. Stop share. And then I need to share this. Okay. You see my spreadsheet now?
Yep.
All right. So this spreadsheet, if you go to DCARC.net, it is, this is on the website for signing up for Field Day. And so as you can see, I've started to highlight in green things that are taken care of. But we encourage you to go in, and even if you're just gonna come for general setup on Friday, just come in here, put your name, call sign, so I know, you know, that we've got a certain number of people that are coming. If you're gonna come for the barbecue dinner Saturday night, just sign up, tell us how many people are in your family, and so we get an idea of how many people are coming. But if you look here, we've got a lot of people that are already volunteering, but we need a lot more. So if anybody has a big, I've got a spring bar tent that I'm going to bring for GOTA. If anybody like has a good size, you know, 5, 6, 8-man tent they could bring for our voice tent, that would be awesome. Any other people that want to volunteer cooking ribs, that would be great. And then just people that are coming, you know, to have dinner with us. Don Forbes looks like he's volunteered to bring the antenna trailer. I'm going to bring the war wagon up. We need somebody to bring a very important piece of equipment. It's KR7 APR. Can anybody say what that is phonetically? Calvin, what would that be phonetically?
Wait.
KR7 APR.
Wait, more slowly.
The crapper. so it's the porta potty. So I need somebody to bring that up. It's pretty light, and it's easy. Just go over to the sheriff's department and hook on to it and bring it up, and just make sure that you've got some water and some things like that. So is there anybody that's on the call right now that'd be willing to bring that up? Okay, well, think about it. And then here I've got a section in here for people that want to operate. So please feel free to fill out any of these sections that you would like to operate. GOTA, just show up and we'll put you on GOTA. Get on the air and give you an opportunity to operate. What we'll usually do is if we have a lot of people, we'll just have some sign up sheets, and you can put, you know, a half-hour block or what hour block of when you'd like to operate, and then you'll know when your time is. So, but we encourage everybody to participate. Okay, any other questions or anything? All right. Okay, well, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you on June 25th to come, and it will be a lot of fun. It is just, it's the highlight. I participate in other service things with our club, but this is my favorite thing of the year to do. Thanks, Larry. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Field Day is a blast. So if you haven't been able to attend before, I highly encourage you to make some time to come on up, and you'll have fun. We do operate throughout the night as long as there's people that are willing to do that, and so. So there's always time to be able to get on the radio. It's good fun. There was one question out there about cell phone service, and Hall has answered that, so it's in the chat up there at Monte Cristo. So is there any other comments or questions or anything, or anybody have something they want to share about their experience with Field Day?
Larry, do you want to show them really quick on the website where that link is now, since you've done the modification to the website?
I can totally do that. It's right there on the front page. Let me pull that up. Hang on, folks. You know, you gotta love live meetings. They, always change it. So let's just a moment. All right, so if you go to our website, DCARC.net, hey, that's perfect. The banner's right there on Field Day. You can click on the banner and it'll take you to all the information about Field Day. But right underneath the moving banner, you have 2021 Field Day and a click here to be taken to the Google Sheet. And you just click that, it'll open up a new window and it'll take you right to the Google sign-up sheet that has been created. So really easy right there on the main page. We'll also get that link out to the membership in the next week or two, just to keep it all on our minds. I know that people's schedules change. And so as we see that things will clear up for us at the end of June, please sign up, bring friends, neighbors, anybody that's interested. It's a lot of fun. And I'm very excited to get over to Monte Cristo. Spence, the Latin Lounge, I believe, are already on the website. I'll go look. If not, I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, and I was just going to comment that I see Calvin there. Calvin, get all your buddies and your siblings to come, because we get extra points at the GOTA station for youth, okay? And it's a lot. It's a lot of points. So recruit any of your friends, your siblings, whoever, and interview you out. We encourage to have some of the kids come, because it's really fun to operate in GOTA, and we get a lot of points for it too.
Okay, I know some people that might want to come.
Yeah,
Awesome.
even if they just come for the afternoon or whatever, you can do that too. Great.
Awesome. So it looks like Matt has a comment that he wants to share for us. Matt, you want to go ahead and come off mute and share with us your experience over on Field Day?
Sure. So last year for Field Day, we did it at my house. It was a lot of fun in what we were doing. But we ran into a problem where we were having a pulsing signal that would just absolutely drown the bands. And the pulsing signal was from 40 meters all the way almost up to 70 centimeters. It was huge. And it would be on for, let's see, I recorded this. It would be on for about 14 seconds, and then it'd be gone for 20 seconds. And it was just pulsing like this the entire time. Made it really, really hard to be able to hear stations, especially when you're trying to call CQ and you're trying to listen for stations coming back as you're calling CQ. As I was going about trying to figure out what was going on, it was obvious it was in 2 meters. So I got in my truck, and I started driving around in the neighborhood. I thought it's got to be close. And I went over, I live in West Point. I went over to Clinton. Signal was gone. Couldn't hear it at all. And I started just driving around trying to find it. Ended up finding it's generalized over by my house. So I turned off I shut off my entire house from power. It's like, okay, am I causing it? So now signal was still there. I have a little SDR USB dongle, so I hooked it up into my laptop, and I was able to track it a little bit better, and I was able to go a little bit more mobile. They had some construction over near my house, and I thought, well, maybe it's some sort of tracker that's on the construction equipment so that they don't get stolen. No, it wasn't. It was over in that area, but I couldn't tell for sure. And while I was over in that area, one of my neighbors, which is my backyard neighbor, it really was pointing towards his house. Now he's a fellow ham, but he doesn't get on very much, and he's not part of our club. And he was out of town. And I says, well, can I go in your backyard and just take some readings? And he says, sure, go ahead and do that. Yeah, I was able to pinpoint it down to his house. I could tell where the signal was coming out through his windows, because the signal would disappear when I was getting to open areas in his, or the signal would appear stronger when I was getting to open areas from his house. So I pinpointed it down. He was going to be back later on Saturday afternoon. He shows up Saturday afternoon, and we've been operating field day, just limping along as best we could. We ended up, due to COVID, and he still allowed me into his house. We're really, really good friends, so it wasn't a big deal. We went into his office area and pinpointed down where it was at. It was a doorbell transformer, and it was actually arcing inside the transformer. It was a spark gap transmitter, and that's why it was trouncing that whole spectrum. And I says, look, it's your doorbell. I'll be happy to go buy you a new doorbell transformer. He says, oh no, I've been needing to replace it. And he took it offline, and sure enough, it was off. And we were able to operate field day a lot better after that. He still hasn't replaced his transformer. He's like, I'm better off without my doorbell. I don't like people coming and ringing my doorbell anyway. But I think it all stemmed from him remodeling his that area. He went from a metal box that was grounded, and so the outside of the transformer was grounded, to a plastic box, and the transformer was no longer grounded. And I think that's what started to cause the spark. So that was kind of my experience with field day. It was a lot of fun trying to figure out where it was coming from. It was frustrating when you're trying to operate and your signal just gets trounced. It was we'd go from an S1 to S2 reading on the radio to about an S9 to +10 over on the radio. I mean, it was just absolutely drowning out all the signals. And if you're trying to do a weak signal, you can't make a contact with a weak signal. So that was kind of my experience. A lot of fun, and I'm glad I have really good neighbors.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that, Matt. It just shows how there are so many aspects to this hobby. I know Joe and I were talking about it just recently, that we need to do another fox hunt, and doing fox hunts are really good to be able to teach skills just like this, so we can find where interference is coming from and be able to get things taken care of, as well as finding things, finding fun things that are attached to prizes and that kind of thing. So anybody else have any comments or anything they'd like to share? Go ahead, Hall.
I was thinking about the instruction thing, and it just popped into my head. We have a lot of new hams, and thinking about the roll-up J-pole as something that us longer-term hams are kind of know about, but maybe the newfers don't. And it's a really handy thing if you travel to travel with. So that's my thoughts. If somebody's got a better idea, why, let me know. But something that can be done pretty easily and quickly without a lot of expense to build. So that's the thoughts. Anyway, back to you, sir.
I think that's a great idea. I love builds, so I always get excited whenever we get out things like soldering irons and that kind of thing. So I think it's great. Anyone else? All right. Well, not hearing any, let's go ahead and Craig, I believe you're online. What do you want to talk about prizes real quick before we shut down the meeting for the day?
Thank you. We do have several books from the bookstore that have been laying around gathering dust, and so we've decided that we should be giving them away. We've given it away the handbook, both in the box set and the bound version. Those are all gone, sorry. But we do have some other books. Our winners today are Becky and Bob Beauty, Dan Baker, Michael Williams, and Raymond and Nancy. I've sent a message directly to you on the chat, on the Zoom chat with my phone number. If you want to call me, we can connect and I can deliver, or you can come by and pick it up. I live in Bountiful. And we're going to need probably to round up a few more books for the next meeting. So let me know.
Awesome. Thanks, Craig. Well, just so you know, we've got lots of things going on. We're also looking for volunteers to work in all kinds of different aspects of the club. We cannot run this club without you. So if you have some time, we'll take whatever we can get. We would love to get connected and get you hooked up to volunteer and help out with different club standing committees and special projects that we have. So feel free to reach out to me and we'll get you connected where we need to. And also, just as one more reminder, because it's something we haven't done in our club before, we are going to be doing Kids Day, which is June 19th. So June is turning out to be quite a busy month for us. Club meeting, Kids Day, Field Day, but it's going to be great fun. So if you're interested in helping out with any of those, let us know. We'll get you plugged in with the right people, and it'll be great. If nothing else, if you don't have time to actually be there on site, I encourage you to get the word out to friends and neighbors and anyone interested. It is a very good thing. And it's a very good thing. It is something that we can keep our club active with new blood, and also just keep the hobby relevant. We know the relevance of ham radio, but our neighbors don't necessarily. And so events like this, like Field Day and our club meetings, and now Kids Day, are things that we can go out into the community and to help them understand the relevance of ham radio today. That cell phones are great, and so are ham radios. So with that, is there any last call for any announcements or any comments?
I've just got a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, I just would like to talk to whoever's the caretaker or custodian of the K7DAV WinLink node. I believe it lives at the sheriff's office. It's a digital node for WinLink.
Okay, we'll get you hooked up. I'm gonna have to check because I'm not sure who's maintaining that right now. Hall, do you know who's maintaining the WinLink?
My guess would be probably Bill Moyes would be the a resource person, but as far as actually doing something with it, I think when the lieutenant retired, that nobody is really there and assigned to do that.
He's out of the picture. It would be John.
Well, John doesn't have, unfortunately at this point, doesn't have quite enough expertise, I don't think. So he's a fairly new ham, and so would need quite a bit of Elmering, I think, on that one. So, but I think Bill Moyes would be a resource for the WinLink. Just a thought.
That's a great thought. I'll go ahead and take that action item, and we'll narrow it down, and then we'll loop you in, Steve.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
Absolutely.
And Larry, what's the best way to reach out to you? You mentioned you'll reach out to me for this or that. Is it your ARRL email or
That's
on the web?
the ARRL email is perfect. There's web forms to get to all of the officers right there on our website. If you go to Ham Club online, our email addresses are listed there as well. So call me, text me, email me, whatever you want. But great question. Great question. All right.
Can I ask Steve what the nature of the problem is?
Mike Williams is the guy you want to talk to about audio and video. He is great, full of energy.
Perfect.
But not WinLink.
Oh, it's not a problem with WinLink. It's actually working great for me. And the K7DAV is also a VARA mode. That's one of the options that I've been using. And I'd like to try some loading tests. And one of the differences between VARA and regular packet is VARA's faster, especially under a larger payload size, a larger file. And but it depends on whether you have a registered copy or just a free copy on the node. It's roughly twice as fast as regular packet free, and supposedly 10 times as fast if it's a paid registered copy. So I was just trying to determine which it was.
That's a good question, and I'm not sure even whether Bill would know, and I'm not sure how to find out. So maybe you could contact Bill Moyes directly and see if he can give you any guidance on that.
Okay, basically the way you would tell is when you started VARA on whatever computer it's using, there's a screen that has the call sign and everything, and if the registration's filled in, then somebody paid for that registration, and if not, it's just the free copy.
Okay, well,
But
we may have to get together and see.
it'd be, I believe it's physically in the sheriff's office in the comm room.
Yeah, okay. I think I've got your phone number, Steve. Maybe I've got to go up there and do some stuff, so maybe we can talk offline.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Steve and Hall. Thank you very much for that. Any other comments or questions? All right. Well, hearing none, we are always available on the radio. So that's also another way to communicate with the members of the club. We'd very much appreciate you taking time with us today. I think it was a great conversation on field day. So everybody get prepared, get ready to go, and be sure to be on the air as much as possible. Just recently we had a TechNet, and one of the concerns was that one of our newer club members, newer hams, would try to make contact off of one of our repeaters, and there was nobody there to talk to him. And so please make it available. Carry around an HT if you can, and just don't be shy about hitting that PTT key. We'd love to hear and talk to you. So if there's nothing else, have a great Saturday, everybody. Stay safe, get some sunshine, and stay radioactive. With that, I will see you next month or sooner. Talk to you later.
Steve Carver, you still there?
Yep.
Drop me an email at kc7rf@arrl.net with your phone number. I don't have it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Will do.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah, Lisa.
Hey, do you want me to check with ARRL Education Committee, see if they've got any flyers and handouts for us for Kids Day?
So I kind of reached out. Hang on, let me stop this recording real quick. Hang on.